Hello there again, friends. Today is 12/12/2021, and this is the Odin Project Day 15 vlog. Today we are finishing up CSS, and you'll see on my screen here, we're just going to get right into it. We're at the bottom of the CSS Foundations module in the Odin Project, and we are going to... Where was that? Here we go. So it says, remember the recipes page you created as practice from the previous lesson? Well, it's rather plain looking, isn't it? Yes, it is. It was basically just black text and white background, and everything was defaulted to left justifying the page. So let's fix that by adding some CSS to it. How you actually style it is completely open, but you should use the external CSS method for this practice and moving forward. You should also try to use several of the properties mentioned in the section above: color, background color, typography, properties, etc. Take some time to play around with the various properties to get a feel for what they do. For now, don't worry at all about making it look good. This is just to practice and get used to writing good CSS, not to make something to show off on your resume. So feel free to go a little crazy for now. We haven't covered how to use a custom font for the font family properties yet. So for now, take a look at CSS fonts for a list of generic font families to use, which I did that, and we'll go over that in the text editor today. And CSS safe web fonts for a list of fonts that are web safe. Web safe simply means that there are fonts that are installed on basically every computer or device, but be sure to still include a generic font family as a fallback. And then that's essentially it. So that's the description of the end, and so let's dive right in. So here is my my Odin Recipes. I brought that back up again, resurrected it. If you remember, this is what we worked on prior to starting the CSS recordings. And so here, I found out something cool. You guys probably knew it, but I didn't. There was a... I'm blowing up here, so I can't... It's not... It doesn't... Oh, it's this right here. There was a split editor on the right. So I clicked that, and it allowed me to add another editor basically in line, which is pretty sweet. So instead of me sitting there having to jack around with all the tabbing every 5 seconds, I was able to do a side-by-side comparison, which actually made coding a lot faster. I wish I would have messed around with that feature several videos ago, because it would have been very helpful. But nevertheless, I will probably use a lot more of this going forward. It does make scrolling a lot harder just because I am zoomed in for you guys for the video, but trust me, when you're using a normal size, this works out really well. So anyway, here's our index.html file. It's the same as it was before, but we went ahead and added a link. Basically, I'm going to show you guys what all I did. I'm not going to recreate it for you. Because there was a lot of back and forth I did to create the CSS and test it, and it would make this video very, very long. I probably spent probably 45 minutes or so getting this completed to a point where I felt like doing a recording on it. So we're just going to go through what I did, and I'll show you the finished product. If you need a refresher on what it looked like before, go back to my video called Project Recipe, and it'll show you what that end product was. So we added a link here, relate it to style sheet, and we're going to reference the .style CSS /styles, which is right here. It's just a file that I created, which is this right here. We'll go over that in a minute. So I'm going to do the HTML files first to show you just the way I workflow with it right now is I always do my HTML first and I do my CSS last. I don't know if that's right or indifferent or doesn't matter, but that's just the way I've been doing it. The Odin Project didn't say to do it that way. In fact, I like this exercise because they basically left everything up to you, and you can do it however you want. There was no instruction, basically just utilizing excuse me, all the skills that you've gotten thus far, and creating a structure out of it. creating a page, the CSS. So anyway, so we're gonna go down here and I add an ID to the body tag called page, and you'll see why I did that here in a little bit. And I added a class to the H1 called homepage title. I tried to make, in this example and like my previous examples, in this I tried to make the classes more intuitive so that they mean something and not just like, if you remember previously I had like left button, right button. I tried not to do that this time. So I have a homepage title, and that's the Odin Recipes H1, and then I added an additional image that wasn't there before, and just simply added, it's not classed or anything, it's just img source, and it's period / images Odin logo. I basically added the Odin Project logo just for something cool. Again, more style, more sexy on that front landing page. And this is inside the Odin images folder, and since that's why you see the path there. So going across here, the subpage hyperlink green bean, best green bean casserole is here. Same type of thing. I added ID of page to the body, and I added class homepage.title. This is a lot of duplication, just so you know, so I'll go through this part kind of fast, but it's a bit, basically added the same class in there for the H1 title. And the only other thing, I think that might be all I did on the HTML. I spent very little time on the HTML, basically just to get at the basics. Oh yeah, of course, and I did the link reference up here, and that's it. Yeah, because outside the page and the home style tile, I just used, call it lazy or not, but I basically used type elements for the last two because it just made sense, and you'll see why. So there's the best green bean casserole page. There's the homemade mac and cheese. Again, it's the same thing. ID page for body, classes, homepage title for H1, and then the same thing. Come on. Same thing for meatloaf. Body ID page, H1 class, homepage title for H1 meatloaf. And then everything else is driven by the CSS. So if we go over to the CSS, you'll notice here I have pound page. Now remember, pound is ID attribute, not a class, which takes #1 precedence. And I put that in there because I always wanted, on every single page, I always wanted the background color to be this goldish color and the text align to be center on every single page. And then going down, so now we're going down to specificity. We're going down to the selector of class, which is secondarily after you do, it'll be processed secondarily after an ID. So, and also it also is one down in our styles, so that also is working in its advantage. So anything with the homepage title, if you remember, that's my H1s on each one. That will be a font family of cursive and sans serif as a backup or default fallback. Fallback, I think what this is the words they use, but font size is fixed 50 pixels. And then if you go down in my CSS, H2, which is obviously the H2 element on each page, is a color of like this kind of maroonish color, and that H2 is the title, ends up being on every page. I'm able to do this calling by the type. Thirdly, in the last least amount of specificity, because the H2s and the ULs on each page match up to be the same exact thing. I couldn't get away with doing this if I'd have to actually go in and define classes like this. If this didn't work out, it just happened that all my H2s were the same structure and my ULs are the same structure, if that makes sense. So like every page the UL was the same type of thing, every page the H2 is the same type of thing. Obviously that's not going to be, in real world that's not going to be the case. You probably won't be able to get away with being generic like this and using type selector. But anyway, the H2 is the maroon, and the UL, which is the unordered list for each page, is a font family of Lucida Council courier new, and a default fallback of monospace, just for something different, just playing around. And that's about it. So if we take a look at it in the browser, here's what it looks like. So obviously the new product is a lot sexier looking, if you will, than the I'm just using that word, than the previous iteration of this. So if you go to Meatloaf, there's your Meatloaf, and I just noticed I had a space in my hyperlink incorrectly. Oh well. Meatloaf recipe. There's your maroon color. There's the CSS for the different font type. Here's the CSS for a different font type and size, and that's about it. And of course, everything, as you can see, both pages are everything centered, and this goldish background, yellowish background, which you can see is the same on every page, which means that's that ID tag called page putting itself to good use here. So that I'm using all the elements correctly, and I'm using the cascading rules to apply all this. So you can see there's a lot of uniformity here, and this is why the H2 worked really good, because these were always H2. H2, H2, you know, so you get my drift. It's not always going to be like that. In fact, it's probably most likely in the real world, it's never going to be like that. So, or very rarely. I just was being lazy and didn't want to create classes for those. So that's that. Without repeating myself too much, I do want to spend a little bit of time. I have not done any commits, so I wanted to walk through that with you guys. So bear with me here. I'm a little rusty. I may have to go back and check out some of the cheat sheet commands, since I got it up in the tab for the Git basics. But I want to basically push these up to GitHub. So we'll just do, okay, first I got to get in the right directory. Okay, so I need to get to CD, maybe what? I think it's, I got too many things named about the same. The Odin Project, I think? Yes. And then go in CD, Odin Recipes. Actually, no, I think I need to be in this folder. Let's do a git status and see what it says. Nope. I gotta be one in. Sorry about that, guys. Git status. There we go. Alright. So you can see all these things are modified. So let's just go through these one at a time. I know this is going to make my video longer, but I just want to show you guys, since I've never been able to do it before. I didn't go ahead and do it this time, as you can see, so we'll do it together as far as how you use these Git commits and commenting and all that. So first thing I want to do is a git add and the file. So we'll just start with the top one, index.html, and then do a git status again, and that shows that that's modified in sitting green, which is in the stage. So again, I'm gonna name these individual gits commits so that I can type something in for each one. I don't know if that's right or not. Please comment in below if I'm doing this wrong, or if it's just better or faster just to, you know, call everything do a commit comment on the whole shebang instead of doing it by file. But so we're gonna do git. I think it's shoot. What is it? Yeah, git commit. Okay. So we're gonna do git commit m for message and say added image, added image to added image, and we'll just say added image and class attributes. Right. Okay, one file changed. Okay, and then we could do, I believe it's just git push. And if we go back to my Odin Recipes, yep, there it is. Added IMG and class attributes 21 seconds ago. Okay, so that worked for that one. Let's keep moving on for the rest of them. Okay, so git status. Okay, we're going to do git commit. I'm sorry, git add. Oops. Git add recipes best green bean casserole. Git status. Okay, there it is. We got it staged. So I'm gonna do a git commit. Again, this may be not necessary. Please chastise me in the comments if you will. I'm just kidding. But do let me know if this is inappropriate. So we're just gonna say added CSS to the. Actually, no. This would be again kind of like the other one. Added class. It's more than just this, but I'm just trying to do this for speed. Added class attributes. Doesn't like that. Okay. Git push. Okay, git status. Okay, git add recipes homemade mac and cheese. Git commit. Same thing. Added class attributes. Git push. Okay. Git status. And git add recipes meatloaf. Git commit again added class attributes. Git push. There you go. Git status. See what's left. Okay, so we have git add images. Odin logo PNG, and we're going to do git commit him. I'm going to do this one's added Odin logo to the images folder as a resource. Okay. Git push. And git status. We only have one left. There it is. Git add styles. This is our style CSS file. Okay. Git commit -m quotes. And we'll say created CSS file for the styling of the pages. Why not? Okay. Git push. And we do git status again. You are on branch main. Your branch is up to date with origin main. Nothing to commit. Working tree clean. Meaning that everything's up to date. So if we go back to my GitHub here, refresh, everything should okay. So many commits, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 days because we didn't touch the README file this time. 5 minutes, 21 seconds. So again, I just wanted to show you guys how to do that. Please, if there's a better way to do that and add all this specificity into the files, if there's a better way, let me know. I haven't researched it. I just haven't had time to mess with it. So I'm just going off memory. Or if it's not, this isn't appropriate or needed, and you can just do it to, add, like I did the first time, very first time, where I thought it was an error, where basically everything I added was with the same commit message. I just find, logically, I find that not useful. I find having all these commit messages more useful, um, so that I know the place markers and where stuff's added and why it was added. But please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the video if you will, if I'm wrong on that, and I will take that under advisement. So that's it. So we finished this. The next lesson will be inspecting HTML and CSS. That will be for next time. And basically that goes into getting into the browser and doing an F12 to look at the elements. So that'll be it for now. Thank you for coming along with the journey today. I hope you learned something and was educated and entertained at the same time. And until next time, see ya.